Going to be on live in a second. We are live now. Today's class is going to be based on yes, no, not given and true, false, not given. And we have 5 volunteers with us. Sajan Preet, Nandika, Sukhmanjeet, Maninder Kaur, and Anisha. So they are going to be helping me out in understanding the reading. And we are going to conduct this class from 12 to 1. It is going to be based on yes, no, not given and true, false, not given. Before I start with the class, I'll give you my social media contacts in case you have not followed them. Please follow them. Please subscribe to our channel, Webbers Educomp Limited, because if you subscribe, you will not miss out any notification. And every Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, we have live classes going on. And I'm planning to do these live classes on daily basis. But as of now, we have 4 days, which is fixed up. We have a blog which has got beautiful, useful exercises. Instagram, Facebook, and Telegram, we have handlers there at webbers.in. Do join them because I'm putting a lot of quizzes, lot of material, lot of stuff there as well. And last is my WhatsApp number. It's 987-255-2775. So in case you want to WhatsApp me, you are most welcome. But again, do not call me because it's a very, very busy phone. So WhatsApp would be good enough. The people who have just joined for this class new or who do not know the exam pattern, I'll just tell you one thing, that this is one of the toughest exams in the world because it gives you an access to the developed world straight away. So do not take it lightly. It has got 4 modules called as listening, reading, writing, and speaking. We have 30 minutes for listening, 60 minutes for reading, 60 minutes for writing, and 11 to 14 or 15 minutes for speaking. There are 4 parts in listening, 3 parts in reading, 2 parts in writing, and 3 parts in speaking. There are 40 questions each in listening and reading. Writing has got 400 words, which is a combination of 2 parts, and speaking has got face-to-face interviews and video call interviews. Our focus area is going to be reading today. So this is the reading format generally. We have to spend 20 minutes on the first, 20 on third, second, and third respectively. Total is 60 minutes. But I never advise you to do this because if you do this, you are never going to clear the paper. You are never going to finish the paper only. So my advice would be 18 each. 18 here, 18 here, and 18 here. The reason for that is if you spend 18 minutes here, you'll be having 6 minutes flat to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Because answer sheet, if you keep it vacant or if you keep it blank, the whole thing goes to 0. They're not going to check your question paper. Answer sheet is mandatory to fill. So types of questions that come in reading are 16 types of questions. And I have given the list of the questions here. A lot of websites say there are 10, a lot of websites there are 12. Now some questions look similar, but I have kept them separately so that you can practice them separately and you have a checklist of what you have to practice. So like take the case of true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given. Many people consider this to be as one particular area. Same is the case with summary from the list and summary from the passage. They call it summary. So again, it depends on how you categorize them. What I have done, I have categorized them into 16 different types. Now, they are very difficult to manage 16 different types. So what I have done for you, I have broken them down into 3 main categories. And these 3 main categories, I'm going to explain you what they are. So the first category is called as global questions. होता क्या है global question? इसके अंदर suppose कीजिए 1 से लेकर 5 तक मेरे पास global questions हैं. तो आपको ये सारा passage पढ़ना पड़ेगा उनको आंसर निकालने के लिए. They are global. Global मतलब सारी जगह फैले हुए हैं. So they are called as global questions. So if I talk about next type, but before we do that, I like to explain you कौन सी types global होती हैं. So the types which are global are matching headings, matching information, summary from the list, and summary from the passage. So we have classes for all the 16 types of questions. So as and when the time goes by, or you can check my YouTube channel, I have put up almost all the classes there. Cluster questions. Now, what exactly is a cluster question? Now, cluster question is another type of a question in which, suppose my question number 6 to question number 8 are cluster. 3 questions are cluster. So they will all come in one particular area. इस area में सारे आएंगे. You don't have to read the full passage. अगर आपको ये वाला area मिल जाता है, cluster is good enough. So what kind of clusters do we have and what are the question types? We have table completion, flowchart completion and diagram completion. Let's talk about the local questions. अब local questions क्या होते हैं उनको देखते हैं. Local questions होते हैं for example 9 से लेकर question number 13 तक आपके पास local questions आ गए. So these local questions are based on keywords. Keywords means if you find the keywords, you are able to find the answer. So suppose 9th is here, 10th is here, 11th is here, 12th is here. So these are the questions which are there and 13th is here. Mostly they are in a sequence. So itna tension wali baat isme hoti nahi. If I have the keywords, I can find it out. I don't have to read the entire passage for it. So just by the help of keywords, we can easily find out some kind of local questions. So these are all the types of local questions. True, false, not given, yes, no, not given, sentence completion, multiple choice question, list selection, choosing a title, categorization, matching sentence endings, and short answer questions. So now our focus area today is going to be just based on 2 things, and that is going to be true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given. So what I'll do, I'll start with very simple passages, and then I'll keep on proceeding further, and I'll increase the level of difficulty, and in the end, I will make it very difficult. Okay? So do not get stressed if you don't get the answer right. You're not supposed to get them right. They're difficult questions. Even if you get a range of questions which are right, it's all right. So मैं आपके साथ साथ में पोलिंग करवाता रहूंगा ताकि मेरे को पता चलता रहे आप किस लेवल पे खड़े हैं यहाँ पे. So true, false, not given शुरू करते हैं जी. सबसे पहली बात तो ये है. True, false, not given are fact based. Yes, no, not given are opinion based. So keep this mind, make clear that true, false, not given जो हैं हमारे ये fact based होते हैं. Fact based. Now you will ask me facts क्या होते हैं? So we need to find out the difference between a fact and an opinion. So we should know how they vary. What's a fact? What's an opinion? They vary. ये होते क्या हैं? What are they? Facts and opinions क्या होते हैं? इन्हें हम understand करते हैं. What are they? So let me just ask a couple of questions from you all so that you know what's a fact and what is not a fact. So let me unmute somebody. Nandika Sahani, I'll unmute you. Nandika, are you there with me?
Yes, I'm there.
All right, Nandika, I'm going to ask a question. So you tell me, is it a fact or is it an opinion? Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Nandika, where do you stay? Is it a
At
fact?
Udaipur. It is an fact-based question, I guess.
Fact-based question. It's a fact-based question because obviously you can't say, I think I stay in Jaipur. Okay? All right. The next one, next question is Nandika. It is again your question. Nandika, do you like Jaipur?
It is an opinion.
It's an opinion.
Opinion.
You say that I like Jaipur. It maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it. It is totally your opinion. So nobody can challenge you on that. Okay? So that's
Yes, sir.
fact and opinion. Thank you, Nandika. Now we'll talk to Sajan about it. Sajan, unmute yourself. Sajan, Sajan, could you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sajan, my question to you is, do you like traveling?
Sir, I need to answer it or tell it. Is it?
Tell me it's a fact or opinion.
Sir, it's an opinion.
Okay. My another question is, do you have an airport in your city?
Sir, it's a category of true false.
Are Baba, it is a okay. All right. That's a smart person. Fine. So true, false is fact based, and yes, no is opinion based. All right. Let us go to the tips. Thank you, Sajan. Let us go to the tips. Now they are in a sequence. इस बात को ध्यान रखना ये sequence में आते हैं. एक के बाद दूसरा, दूसरे के बाद तीसरा, and there's a chance that you can miss them out because all of them come in a sequence. ये बड़े ही simple होते हैं. If you know it's a sequence, it becomes very simple for you to solve them. And एक मिल गया, दूसरा भी मिल जाता है, तीसरा भी मिल जाता है. Sequence. Mark the keywords in the question. Locate the question. Paraphrase and synonyms is very important. There are some very nice controlling words called as only, all, never. So they are the questions which really help you out in understanding क्या ये true है, false है, yes है, no है, क्या है ये. Now, next thing is, do not spend a long time giving your answer for one question. It is not given अगर नहीं मिल रहा तो just not given करके आगे चले जाइए. अगर आप ढूंढते ही रहोगे आंसर क्या आएगा, अभी मिलेगा, you can't find it out and it's not the right thing. Use the correct code, and the correct code is yes, no, not given. You cannot write, Y and NG in place of yes, no, not given. If you write it out, that'll be marked wrong. तो ये गलत हो जाएंगे. You can't even say true in case of yes. You can't say false in case of no. You can't say not given तो है ही, चलो ठीक है. But you cannot change the nomenclature. Nomenclature मतलब जो वहां पे लिखा हुआ आपने वही बोलना है, वही करना है. That is what you have to do. Now, what exactly is a sequence? So we need to understand what is a sequence. So suppose this is question 1, this is question 2, this is question 3, question 4 and question 5. So suppose कीजिए मुझे third question यहाँ मिल गया. तो इसके ऊपर होगा 2, इसके नीचे होगा 4 और उसके ऊपर होगा 1 और उसके नीचे होगा 5. So I can even track them out. That's a very good technique called as tracking and location. We can track out these questions. That is called as a sequence. So keep this trick into mind. It's a very useful trick. So let's go to passage 1. And in passage 1, I'm going to show you a passage and we are going to answer some questions. So let us see what to do. We are going to answer questions on passage 1. So let us see the passage 1. Here we are. So I am going to unmute Anisha Mahajan. Anisha, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Anisha, the first thing that you're going to do in True False Not Given, I always recommend you to read the question. Read the question. Can you read the question for me, please?
David Gura is trying to buy a book before it gets broken up.
Okay, so David Gura is trying to buy a book. He is trying to buy a book. Let's mark the keywords here. So David Gura is one. Before it gets broken up is another one. Before it gets broken up, मतलब अभी तक टूटी नहीं है book, पूरी जुड़ी हुई है book. So he is trying to buy a book. All right. So now please start reading it from here. Anisha, please start reading.
Yes, sir. Last month at an auction house in Germany, a single page from medieval manuscript went up for sale. Among those who were trying to buy it was David Gura, the curator of ancient and medieval manuscripts at the University of Notre Dame. It was another chance for him to save the part of a 15th century book of hours, which only a few years earlier had been broken up. He is now in a race to find the remaining pages of the manuscript before they disappear.
All right. So now, what do you make out of it, Anisha? Is he trying to buy a book?
Yes, sir, he's trying to buy a book.
Are you sure? So answer will be true. So will the answer be true according to you, Anisha?
He, no, sir.
Is he
He
trying?
said he's now in a race to find the remaining pages of this manuscript before they disappear.
Okay, no. He is trying to buy. Buy की बात हो रही है यहाँ पे और कुछ नहीं देखना हमने buy करना है.
Yes, sir, he's trying to buy the book.
तो true कर दूं इसको मैं. पक्का true हो गया?
So wait a second.
Let us see some more person. Sajan, unmute yourself. Anisha,
Yes, sir.
it's true. So what do you say? It's a true? Is it true
No,
or false? Or
sir, false.
it's false. Can you convince Anisha for this? It's false.
Sir, it's written there, which only a few years earlier had been broken up. वो पहले से.
It is already broken up, right?
Yes, sir.
My question is not that. My question is he trying to buy a book? क्या वो book खरीदने की कोशिश कर रहा है या वो पेज खरीदने की कोशिश कर रहा है?
It was another chance for him to save part of.
टॉप से पढ़ो, टॉप से ऊपर से पढ़ो.
Last month, an auction house in Germany, a single page from medieval manuscript went up for sale. Among those who were trying to buy it was David Gura, the curator of ancient and medieval manuscripts at the University of Notre Dame. It was another chance for him to save part. Sir, book नहीं उसका book का part.
Page. तो एक page buy करने. A single page went up for sale. So
Yes.
is he trying to buy a single page or is he trying to buy a book?
Sir, single page.
He's trying to buy a single page. All right. So what is the answer according to you then?
Sir, false.
It is false. So let me see the answer. He's trying to buy a book. So my answer is false because he's trying to buy a single page. All right. So Anisha, is this clear? Anisha, unmute yourself and keep yourself unmuted for some time.
Yes,
Anisha?
sir, it is clear now.
Okay, great, wonderful. So Anisha and Sajan, so I'm going to give you a trick now. How does it work? Let me give you the trick and then you find the answer. So my second question here is, David Gura works for the University of Notre Dame. The pronunciation is Notre Dame. It's a French university, Notre Dame. Okay, University of Notre Dame. So David Gura works there. Okay. So can I make it into an interrogative question? Yeah. Sajan, can you do that for me? Can you make it interrogative?
Yes, sir.
No,
David Gura do not works for the University of Notre Dame.
no, interrogative का मतलब होता है ऐसे question की form में बनाइए. Question की form में बनाइए. Make it into a question. पीछे question mark लगा दो इसके.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, बोलो.
Do David Gura work for University of Notre Dame?
So my question is, does David Gura, DJ लिख देता हूँ मैं इसकी जगह पे, David Gura work from the University of Notre Dame? So आंसर अगर हाँ काम करता है तो आंसर होगा yes, अगर काम नहीं करता तो आंसर होगा false, अगर नहीं चल रहा तो आंसर होगा not given. So ये true false not given है, तो obviously हमने fact ढूंढने हैं इसमें से, ठीक है? हाँ जी. Anisha and Sajan, दोनों ही पढ़िए and बताइए मेरे को, is he working for the University of Notre Dame?
Yes, sir.
How do you know that?
Sir, there is a line among those who were trying to buy it was David Gura, the curator of ancient and medieval manuscripts at the University of Notre Dame.
What is the position? At what position?
Sir, curator.
He's a curator. Curator. Do you know the meaning of curator? Does anybody know the meaning of curator?
Sir, I think the one who take care of.
The one who takes care of museums, libraries, art galleries, things like that is called as a curator. So he is a curator in University of Notre Dame. All right. So that is absolutely right. The answer is true. He is a curator. And again, ये देखो ये fact based हैं सारे, आप note कर रहे हो? Fact है, वो काम करता है, उसकी job ये है. So it's a fact. It's not an opinion. It's a fact. So देखते हैं. This is a very straightforward question. Can be easily seen that David Gura works for the University of Notre Dame. Highlighted keywords are matched. Curator at the University of Notre Dame. All right. So let's see the next question. So Sajan, इसे question में convert करो मेरे को पहले. Third को question में convert करो. Okay, Anisha, can you do that for me? Can you convert this into a question? Yeah.
How many number of pages are remaining of the book of hours?
No. How many तो पूछा नहीं ना हुआ इसने. Only a small number of pages remain of the book of hours.
Are only a small number of pages remaining of the book of the hours for the book of the hours.
Perfect of the book of hours. अब ये book of hours है क्या? 15th century book of hours. Okay? क्या है ये? ये कहता है थोड़े से पेजेस बचे हुए हैं उसके, यहाँ सारे पेजेस बचे हुए हैं, यहाँ हम कुछ कह नहीं सकते इसके बारे में. तो अनीशा इसे पढ़िए. And you know, if you've seen this, the first answer was here. First answer was here. And the second answer was here. And obviously, the third answer is going to be below it now. So you have to start reading. It was another chance. Yeah. Anisha, please start reading.
It was another chance for him to save part of a 15th century book of hours, which only a few years earlier had been broken up. He is now in a race to find the remaining pages of this manuscript before they disappear.
Okay, so according to you, only a few number of pages are remaining of the Book of Hours?
Sir, I think it's not given in the passage.
You think it's not given in the passage. All right. Sajan, what do you think?
Sir, I actually there was some internet problem, so I need to read it first.
Read it first. Please read it. पढ़ लिया?
Yes, sir.
So what is your answer now?
Sir, not given.
Not given. So let us see your answers. So the answer is not given. It is stated a small number of pages remain of the Book of Hours. Yes, there are small number of pages, but it is difficult to conclude that whether they are less or more. ये पता नहीं कर सकते. Only a small number of pages are left in the book. But हमें पता नहीं है बचे हुए नहीं बचे हुए कुछ कह नहीं सकते इसके बारे में. तो next चलते हैं passage 2 में. So before we go to passage 2, I would like to take a small polling from you all. So on your screens, a poll would appear, and I want some votes on the poll. So I'm going to launch the polling. So you will be having an option of 0, 1, 2, or 3. The polling has been launched. So please answer the number of answers that you got correct. We have a lot of people with 3 correct. That is very, very nice. Jaldi polling khatam kijiye. Complete your polling. Complete your polling. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen of the polling and I'm going to speak out क्या-क्या आपके polling में आया है. So we have this polling going on. ये screen पे आपके polling आ गई जी. So there was one person who got 0 correct. Maybe उसका internet ठीक ना चल रहा हो. There is one person who got 1 correct. There are 6 people who got 2 correct. And there are 17 people who got 3 correct. So the average of the class is 3 out of 3, which is very good. So now we are going to make it a little difficult, a little difficult. So now, you know, little को ना हम tad bit भी बोलते हैं, a tad bit difficult, a tad difficult, TAD. That's a word for, it's a slang, do not use it formally, tad bit difficult. You'll use this word when you go to Canada or America. They use it very frequently. Okay, so here we come to passage number 2. Now देखो थोड़ा सा लंबा पैसेज है अभी, ठीक है? और इसमें ना मैंने आपकी जिंदगी दुखी करने के लिए 2 क्वेश्चन बनाए हैं जो बाद में आएंगे. So this is the first question, ठीक है? मैंने इसमें कीवर्ड भी मार्क करके आपको बताया है कैसे कीवर्ड मार्क करते हैं because here I'm going to teach you keywords. But before I do that, I want somebody to read it properly. So I request Nandika. Nandika is there. Nandika. Nandika Sahani. Nandika, I got disconnected, I believe. All right. So we have Sukhmanjeet Kaur. Sukhmanjeet, can you unmute yourself, please? Sukhmanjeet, can you unmute yourself? Yeah, hi.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Very good afternoon. Sukhmanjeet, you are going to read it out, okay? Total,
Okay, sir.
total starting से लेकर ending तक पढ़ना है. But पहले मेरे को ना title पढ़ा के बताइए. Tell me the meaning of the title here. What is the meaning of this particular title? Yeah.
Programmable plants.
So can you tell me what are plants? Plants क्या होते हैं?
Plants, sir, एक तो मतलब trees वगैरह होते हैं तो और दूसरे जो मतलब electricity वगैरह generate करते हैं वो
Right.
हो सकते हैं.
So here the plant meaning is क्या है हमें पता नहीं है, ठीक है? हमें इसके बारे में आइडिया नहीं हो सकता कि प्लांट क्या है, बट पहली चीज लिखिए प्रोग्रामेबल. सो कैन यू एक्सप्लेन द मीनिंग ऑफ प्रोग्रामेबल?
जो कुछ मतलब बनाते हो.
प्रोग्रामेबल मतलब कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम उसमें डाल सकते हैं हम, राइट?
ओके सर.
अभी आप यहाँ से पढ़ना शुरू कीजिए और लाउडली पढ़िए और बाद में मुझे समझाइए क्या मतलब है इसका. लाउडली पढ़िए.
In electronics, even the most advanced computers in just a complex arrangement of simple modular parts that control specific functions The same integrated circuit might be found in an iPhone or in an aircraft. Biologists are creating this same modulatorily in, wait for it, plants by designing gene circuits that control specific plant characteristics, color, size, resistance to drought, you name it.
Okay, इसका मतलब क्या होगा? What are they trying to say?
So, जो एडवांस्ड कंप्यूटर है उनमें बहुत कम्प्लेक्स अरेंजमेंट होता है
हाँ,
एंड सेम जो सर्किट है वो आईफोन में या एयरक्राफ्ट में भी मिल सकता है
wonderful.
और बायोलॉजिस्ट जो है वो सेम मतलब सिस्टम कुछ क्रिएट कर रहे हैं सर्किट को क्रिएट कर रहे हैं जिससे हम प्लांट के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं जैसे कलर साइज या
Very-
ड्राफ्ट से रेजिस्टेंस
अब ये बताओ मेरे को नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ पढ़ो और बताओ इसका मतलब क्या है?
द relatively new interdisciplinary field is synthetic biology, the design of genetic circuits, just like in electronics, that control different functions and can be easily placed in one organism or the next. Most of today's synthetic biologists work with simple microorganisms like E. coli or yeast.
Excellent. तो क्या मतलब है? क्या कह रहे हैं? What is this?
सर जैसे इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में होता है ना तो बायोलॉजिस्ट कुछ ट्राई कर रहे हैं न्यू जीन जो मतलब किसी ऑर्गेनिजम्स में इजीली प्लेस हो सके और सिंपल ऑर्गेनिजम्स पे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स पे वो टेस्ट कर रहे हैं जैसे ई कोलाई और यीस्ट हो गया
Okay, all right. तो ये कह रहा है सिंपल ऑर्गेनिजम्स पे पहले ट्राई करेंगे, कॉम्प्लेक्स पे पहले ट्राई करेंगे?
सर सिंपल पे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स
ट्राई करेंगे. ऑल राइट. अब लास्ट वाला पैराग्राफ पढ़ के बताओ क्या लिखा है.
A CSU team led by June Medford, Professor of Biology, and Ashok Prasad, Associate Professor of Chemical and Biological Engineering, is doing the same thing but in the much more complex biological worlds of plants.
ठीक है, तो क्या
सर दो प्रोफेसर हैं ज्यून मेडफोर्ड एंड अशोक प्रसाद जो सेम थिंग पे काम कर रहे हैं बायोलॉजिकल इंजीनियरिंग में बट इन द मच मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स पर मतलब प्लांट्स पे कुछ वर्क कर रहे हैं वो कुछ कॉम्प्लेक्स ऑर्डर में
वंडरफुल. तो आपको सारे समझ आ गई. सो अभी हमने आंसर निकालने हैं. ऑल राइट. सो
ओके सर
I am going to show you the first question and I have marked the keywords for you. So the first question is the scientists are using a technique from electronics to control specific plant properties. So पहली बात तो इसमें आती है, you know why am I teaching you this? Because I want you to understand what are keywords in true false not given. So now I will say that there are scientists. Scientist becomes as a keyword. Technique from electronics. Technique from electronics का मतलब क्या हुआ कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स में से टेक्निक यूज करके हम कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं स्पेसिफिक प्लांट प्रॉपर्टीज को, जैसे वो ड्रॉट में काम आए, कम खाना लगे, कम पानी लगे उनको. सो क्या आपके ख्याल से ये सच है कि झूठ है, ट्रू है, फॉल्स है कि नॉट गिवन है?
सर इट्स ट्रू
इट्स ट्रू. अब देखा आपने आपने रेफर नहीं किया पैसेज को, आपने फिर भी इसका आंसर ट्रू निकाल लिया. ठीक है, तो देखते हैं पैसेज को रेफर करके व्हाट इज योर आंसर. या so just read the small part of the passage and the question and find out the answer and confirm your answer to me. Confirm your answer.
So I have to read aloud or just confirm?
Read it in your mind. Read it in your mind.
Yes.
Yes, sir, it's true.
It's true. Anisha, what do you think? It's true?
Yes, sir, I think it's true.
You think it's true. All right. So very much the answer is true. So let us see the second question. अब मैं फिर से आपको इसमें कीवर्ड सिखाऊंगा और इसमें कीवर्ड्स थोड़े से डिफरेंट हैं. इसमें वर्ड है हमारा मोस्ट. मोस्ट मींस नॉट ऑल. ओके, अब देखो ये जैसे ना ये ऑल है, इसका एक पार्ट है ऑल, तो मैं इसमें से इतना पार्ट माइनस कर देता हूं, तो जो बाकी पार्ट है वो बन गया हमारा मोस्ट. ओके, तो ये बन गया सम. सो दिस इज सम and this is most. So these are the differences between some and most. Most will also be majority. So if it comes out to be majority of something, most of something, तो ये भी आंसर सही है, बिल्कुल सही है जी, ठीक है, तो इसका आंसर निकालते हैं. So most synthetic biologists work on with mammals. Mammals मतलब complex form से काम करते हैं. Anisha and Sukhman, please tell me, क्या वो complex organisms के साथ काम कर रहे हैं या simple के साथ काम कर रहे हैं?
Sir, false, simple के साथ काम कर रहे थे, E. coli and
What is your opinion? Simple or complex?
Sir, simple.
Anisha, just read this and then give me the answer. This is the second question. Read this and give me the answer.
Sir, it's false.
It's false. So why is it false? देखिए जो false होता है ना उसका आंसर हमेशा होता है passage के अंदर. The answer is always going to be in the passage, and the passage says they work with simple organisms, and here they are asking, do they work with mammals? So mammals is a very complex animal. I think you know that we are mammals and we are very complex organisms. But if we talk about E. coli or yeast, they are very simple organisms. So my answer to this is false. Absolutely right. It is false. So before we go to passage 3, I'm going to do a polling here so I understand how much you got, and you will be able to understand बाकी लोगों के मुकाबले में आप कहाँ पे हो, आप कैसे खड़े हो बाकी लोगों के मुकाबले में. So I am stopping the previous sharing of the results, and my next poll is on passage 2. So I'm launching this. Please mark it. Please mark it. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. A lot of people are getting it right. All of them right. This was very simple. Don't expect these simple answers to come there. I'll go to the difficult one and then we'll see what is the condition. Okay, so I'm ending the polling now. So let me see the results. I'm sharing the results with you. We have just 2 people scored 1. Nobody scored 0. And 19 people scored 2 out of 2, which is a very heartening result, which is a very good result. So let us go to our next part. In passage 3, I'm going to make it slightly a tad bit tougher here. So this is going to be the next part. So again, I have to tell somebody to read it out. So Damanbir, you are going to be the next one, and Anamika Bhalla, you are going to be the next one.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi Daman, how are you? Hi Namika, how are you?
Fine.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, sir. I'm good. How about you?
Very good, all wonderful. Okay, so kindly read it. So Daman, please read it and explain me what does it say?
Richard the Lionheart. Richard the Lionheart, King of England, had spent much of his region outside England fighting wars in the Middle East and France. To pay for these, he had taxed the English heavily. Richard was considered a good king by the people in 1199. Richard died and his brother John became king. John continued.
Stop. पहले इतना पढ़ के बताओ इसका, बताओ क्या लिखा है इसने, क्या लिखा है इसने?
सर रिचर्ड जो है वो कहते बहुत दिलेर, बहुत बहादुर था, किंग था इंग्लैंड का, और उसने ज्यादातर अपना टाइम वो वॉर में स्पेंड किया है मिडिल ईस्ट और फ्रांस में.
ऑलराइट, आगे.
और उसने वो पे किया, तो ये सब पे करने के लिए उसने टैक्स, वो बहुत ज्यादा टैक्स लिया इंग्लिश पीपल से.
ऑलराइट. और
रिचर्ड वो अच्छा किंग था, वो अच्छा किंग था लोगों के मुताबिक. इन 1199 रिचर्ड जो था, रिचर्ड मर चुका था और उसका ब्रदर जॉन था वो किंग बन चुका था.
ऑलराइट, ठीक है. अभी नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ पढ़िए. Read this paragraph and explain me what does it mean.
John continued to fight in France, but he kept losing the battles. He needed more money, so his government in England ruthlessly demanded more taxes from the nobility, who were expected to pay tax if the king asked.
एक्सेलेंट। तो अभी जॉन ने क्या किया ये बताइए।
सर जॉन जो था वो उसने अपनी फाइट जो थी फ्रांस से वो कंटिन्यू रखी, पर वो बैटल्स हारता रहा। उसके बाद सर उसने भी गांव उस उसके राज में उसने इंग्लैंड से बहुत ज्यादा टैक्स डिमांड किए, वो नोबिलिटी से, जो मैम जो सर तब तब एक्सपेक्टेड था जब किंग उससे पूछे।
ऑल राइट, सो ये दो भाइयों की कहानी है जिसके अंदर हमारा मेन फोकस इज रिचर्ड। एंड हु इज रिचर्ड? रिचर्ड द लायन हार्ट। दिस इज अ टिपिकल केस ऑफ अ किंग, जहां किंग के ना आगे एपेलेशंस दिए होते थे उन्होंने, नाम के आगे कुछ दिया होता था उसको समझाने के लिए क्या है ये। सो ये पैसेज हमने पढ़ लिया है। अब हम 4 क्वेश्चंस करेंगे, बट हम पैसेज को रेफर नहीं करेंगे। सो लेट अस सी व्हाट आर योर आंसर्स नाउ। सो दीज आर 4 क्वेश्चंस। ओके, सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन बोलने के लिए मेरे पास दो लोग हैं। वन इज अनामिका एंड अदर इज दमन। दमन अपने आप को अनम्यूट रखना, मेरे को बार बार अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा नहीं तो।
ओके सर।
So both of you are going to do these 4 questions, but I'm not going to refer back to the passage. Anamika, is it okay for you?
Okay, sir, I'll try.
All right. So I'm going to ask you random questions out of here. My first question to you is, John was not successful at war. इसको मेरे को
Yes.
question बना के बताइए.
Wasn't John successful at war?
All right. So what is your answer? John successful था कि नहीं था?
नहीं था.
सर इट्स ट्रू।
It's true. So इसका आंसर yes है, तो यहाँ true है तो मैं लिख दिया yes या true. All right. John was a better king than Richard.
No.
And हाँ जी बताइए।
नो।
No.
नो है?
Yes.
आप
यस सर।
अगर नो है तो आंसर होगा बीच में फिर, तो आपने इसका आंसर नो लिख दिया। वहां लिखा होगा कि रिचर्ड वाज अ बेटर किंग देन जॉन।
No, sir. It is
नो,
not written like
नॉट
that.
गिवन, नॉट गिवन।
No.
अब नॉट गिवन कर दो। वेरी नाइस। पहले डोंट नो करो फिर। ऑल राइट। द पीपल हैड टू पे किंग रिचर्ड अ लॉट ऑफ टैक्स।
पीपल हैड टू पे
उनको टैक्स बहुत देना
No,
पड़ता था
sir.
रिचर्ड को टैक्स देना पड़ता था पीपल को।
No, sir.
इट्स ट्रू सर, हैवीली, हैवीली इज रिटन ओवर देयर।
हेवीली रिटन देयर। ओके, तो ये ट्रू कह रहे हैं। ट्रू या यस कह रहे हो आप? ठीक है, तो मैं ऐसे ट्रू या यस कर देता हूँ। अनामिका, व्हाट इज योर ओपिनियन? टैक्स देना पड़ता था रिचर्ड को कि नहीं?
देना पड़ता था.
देना पड़ता था। ट्रू कर दें इसको फिर? ओके।
Yes, sir.
रिचर्ड लिव्ड मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इन इंग्लैंड व्हाइल ही वाज अ किंग। लास्ट क्वेश्चन बताइए। रिचर्ड बहुत समय किंग इंग्लैंड में रहता था जब वो राजा था।
आई थिंक इट्स नो, बिकॉज ही
No,
स्पेंट
sir. वो
मोस्ट
out of England रहता था.
region while war against France.
All right, all right. So your answers here are, this goes no, this goes yes, this you said is not given,
Not given.
and the last one you said is again yes. Am I right?
Yes sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
Hanji, Anamika and Daman, is this what you said?
Yes sir.
इसे फाइनल कर देते हैं,
Yes,
देखते हैं
sir.
Yes sir.
सही है या गलत। तो आपके आंसर हैं पहला नो, दूसरा यस, तीसरा नॉट गिवन, चौथा यस। आपके आंसर सारे ही सही हैं। वेरी वेल डन। सो यू गॉट 4 आउट ऑफ 4 करेक्ट। और इस बार ही हमने पैसेज भी रेफर नहीं किया, which is a very good thing. So let us have the small polling section once again to see if people are doing it right or wrong. I'm starting the polling, so please poll accordingly. आपके सामने polls हैं, polls कीजिए। Fast, 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 quick. Okay, excellent, excellent. I'm stopping the polling here. So out of the polling, कुछ लोग poll ही नहीं कर रहे। Please poll कीजिए, जरूरी होता है poll करना। So I can see equal distribution of 3 out of 4 and 4 out of 4. So 3 भी हैं, 4 भी हैं. So this is the polling of this question. ये इतना सिंपल नहीं था because मैंने आपका करने की टेक्निक चेंज कर दी थी। मैंने पैसेज को दूर कर दिया था आपसे, right? So don't worry. Practice कीजिए अपने आप के साथ. You'll be fine. Don't worry. So our next person is our Arpanpreet Kaur Bal. Arpanpreet, please unmute yourself. Arpanpreet Kaur Bal. Hanji, unmute yourself, please. Unmute. Press unmute. Hi Arpan, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. What about you?
I'm good too. Arpan, we are going to go to the fourth passage. This happens to be a very tough nut to crack. Okay?
Okay, sir.
You are going to work on it. And I want one more volunteer because she might not be able to work on it alone. It's a very long passage. One more volunteer, raise your hand. One more volunteer, raise your hand, please. Okay, so we have Sajan, Daman, so many hands have come up. Anisha, chalo theek hai, charo milke kar lete hain hum. So Sajan, Anisha, Daman, and Arpan, you all are there. So I am going to share the screen, but Arpan is going to read out, and Sukhmanjeet also wants to do it. Great, Sukhmanjeet. So I go to passage number 4. इसको मैंने ब्लॉग में भी रखा हुआ आपके लिए. ये सारा पैसेज अगर आपने दोबारा से प्रैक्टिस करनी हो, you can go to the blog and you can practice it there. I'll just show you the blog. Where is it? So you go to webbers.in and you see the blog here in blog, and you go to IELTS reading and the blog comes here. So here there are lot of exercises which are beautiful exercises, and true false not given exercises is here. You see this man having a headache on doing true false not given. तो ये मेरे सारे passages यहाँ पे हैं. All the passages are here. So जो ये video है मैं यहाँ पे डाल दूंगा अभी थोड़ी देर में. So you'll be able to see this and you'll be able to see the questions also and solve it. So it will become extremely easy for you. Okay. So now, Arpan, you're going to read out the red title, the red thing. Read it out for me.
Teens not damaged by screen time, study finds.
Okay. So here he says teens. Do you know what are teens?
So teenagers,
Teenagers. Do you know what is the screen time?
so maybe using technology.
Screen time is where we use the screens. For example, it can be television, it can be laptop, it can be a tablet or a computer or a mobile or anything that is called as a screen.
Okay, sir.
It says teens are not damaged by the screen time. वैसे generally क्या होता है? If you are in your house and you are seeing the screen and your parents will always tell you ना कर आंखें खराब हो जाएंगी तेरी, right?
Yes, sir.
Does it happen with you?
Yes, sir. It happens.
Yes.
Regularly, it happens with everybody. So do you think आंखें खराब होती हैं?
So please,
Opinion. आंखें खराब होती हैं ज़्यादा कंप्यूटर से या मोबाइल से?
yes, sir.
हो जाती हैं. Are you sure about it?
Yes, sir. मेरी हुई है.
हो गई हैं आंखें.
No, sir, वो
Actually, it depends from person to person. I have seen people who work for 10 hours a day on the screen and still the eyesight is perfectly fine. And I have seen people, very youngsters, who work for 3-4 hours in a day and the eyes are very bad. So I think eyesight bad hona baki factors bhi hote hain, like vitamin deficiency or like genetics or like having infection in the eye or what. It can be anything. It cannot be only based on the computer screens. So let us see this article now. We'll see this article. Okay. So Arpan, please read out all the 4 questions. I'm going to mark the keywords, okay? Read out.
Okay, sir. Viewing an electronic screen before going to sleep at night is harmful.
Stop. Viewing electronic screen before sleep, harmful. These are my keywords, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second question.
Psychological science can explain the connection between computer use and mental and physical health problems in teenagers.
Okay. So here, psychological science explain connection between what? Between computer use and mental and physical health problems. and we are talking specifically about teenagers. सारा article ही teenagers के बारे में, ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
ये जी third.
The RCPCH advised that kids should not view electronic devices in the 60 minutes leading up to bedtime.
Okay, so he says RCPH किसको advise कर रहा है? Kids को.
Kids.
क्या advise करता है? Not electronic devices. 60 minutes bedtime. सोने से 60 मिनट पहले इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइसेस को बंद कर देना चाहिए. ये एडवाइस किसकी है? RCPCH की. लास्ट क्वेश्चन पढ़िए.
Watching online violence is detrimental to the mental well-being of adolescents, according to Dr. Dubika.
According to Dr. Dubika, watching online violence is detrimental. Detrimental का मतलब क्या होता है? खतरनाक, खराब करने वाला, to the mental well-being of adolescents. Now, what is the meaning of mental well-being? Mental well-being.
They can have any mental, sir, any stress-related problem?
So, हमारे जहन को खराब कर देता है, हमारे दिमाग को या माइंड को खराब कर देता है. That is called as a mental well-being. तो हमारे जहन को नॉर्मल रखना is keeping your mental well-being in fine condition. So, डॉक्टर डुबिका कहता है ये बात, ठीक है? तो हमने इसको ढूंढना है सब. तो एक एक करके ढूंढेंगे हम और देखते हैं हमारे आंसर्स क्या निकलते हैं. तो ये सारे के सारे क्वेश्चंस मैंने आपको दे दिए पहले पैसेज के अंदर. इसमें से एक निकलेगा. तो देखते हैं पहला वाला सवाल कहाँ पे है. अर्पण, पहला वाला सवाल बताइए कहाँ पे होगा. ये मेरा पैसेज है. दिस इज माय पैसेज.
Okay, sir.
ओके जी. पहला सवाल को पढ़ के इसका आंसर निकाल के मुझे आंसर बताइए. तो आपके साथ बहुत लोग हैं जो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. सारे लोगों को मैं आपको गुजारिश करता हूं कि प्लीज इसे पढ़िए. तो वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल. प्लीज इन्हें पढ़िए और अपना अपना आंसर दीजिए मेरे को. Yes. What are your answers? This is very, very typical British English. घुमा फिरा के बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. आंसर्स दीजिए अपने.
Sir, it's no.
Sir, it's no.
False.
No, sir.
No.
So false.
False.
तो नो बोल रहे हैं. कोई ट्रू भी बोल रहा है या यस भी बोल रहा है तो बता दीजिए.
No, sir.
नहीं,
No, sir.
नो ही है.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No.
ऑल राइट. सो सेकंड क्वेश्चन ढूंढेंगे अभी. तो पहले देखिए सेकंड क्वेश्चन यहाँ है कि नहीं है. साइकोलॉजिकल साइंस. इज ही टॉकिंग अबाउट साइकोलॉजिकल साइंस इन दिस पैराग्राफ और नॉट?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
तो नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ में आते हैं हम. ये आ गया हमारा नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ. तो इसका आंसर ढूंढ के बताएं क्या आंसर होगा. मैंने आंसर आपको कोई नहीं बताना इस बारी. आप ही सब आंसर ढूंढेंगे. Psychological science can explain the connection between computer use and mental and physical health.
Sir, I want to ask something.
Yes, please.
Sir, in the last passage, उन्होंने तो क्वेश्चन पूछा था, मतलब कि जो पुरानी मेथडोलॉजी उनको चैलेंज किया था.
हाँ.
तो उस हिसाब से नो तो नहीं होना चाहिए.
ठीक है, अपना आंसर बता दो फिर क्या होगा. आपका जो भी आंसर है देख लेते हैं. आंसर बताइए. मैं तो कुछ नहीं बताना है इस बार क्योंकि ये तो टेस्ट चल रहा है आपका. आपका आंसर बताइए क्या होगा. नॉट गिवन है कि यस है फिर आप.
क्योंकि उन्होंने कहा था कि इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्क्रीन्स जब चिल्ड्रन मतलब कि बेड पे जाने से पहले ऑनलाइन रहते हैं, गेम्स खेलते हैं,
तो इसमें
क्या उससे.
डोंट वरी, वापस आ जाएंगे इस पे, डिस्कशन करेंगे प्रॉपर्ली. डोंट वरी. चलो पहले सेकंड
Yes.
बताइए मेरे को. फाइंड आउट द आंसर ऑफ सेकंड. Psychological science can explain the connection between computer use and mental and physical health problems in teenagers. To find out the answer here, mental and psychological health problems in teenagers को adolescent well-being भी बोल सकते हैं हम.
It's yes.
Yes,
Sir, it's
yes,
true.
It's true.
yes,
Sure.
Yes,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Psychological science ने explain किया है ये सब कुछ?
No, sir.
According to me, sir, it's
No,
no.
sir.
अब फिर चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. मैं इसका yes और no आंसर लिख देता हूँ दोनों का. Not given भी बोल दो कोई बंदा.
No, sir.
Okay. So इसका आपने no भी लिख दिया है और इसका आपने yes भी लिख दिया. देखो, don't get stressed. अपने अपने आंसर लिखो. हो सकता है आप ठीक हो. Don't get impressed by people. Don't get impressed by people. Otherwise, you will ruin the exercise. जिसका yes है वो yes लिख लो, जिसका no है वो no लिख लो. Piece of paper ले लीजिए अपने पास और उसमें सारे आंसर लिख दीजिए. Take a piece of paper, keep a pencil with you. That's what I keep doing in my lecture also. I keep on writing down the answers as you keep on telling me. Next is RCPCH advise करती है. क्या advise करती है वो देखना है. क्या यहाँ पे RCPCH की बात करी? Should we move
No,
ahead?
sir.
No, sir.
So we will move ahead. RCPCH. So can you see RCPCH here?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Right. So my question here is RCPCH advise that kids should not view electronic devices in the 60 minutes leading to the bedtime. ये आंसर है मेरा. यहाँ बताइए, आंसर ढूंढ के बताइए क्या है. RCPCH ये बात बोल रही है कि नहीं बोल रही?
It's yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. RCPCH 60 मिनट्स की बात करती है. Obviously 60 minutes तो बोलेगा नहीं ना, कुछ और लिख देगा उसकी जगह में 60 minutes की जगह पे. So you have to figure out some synonym is being used or not.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is not
Yes, sir.
Sir, according to me, it's not given.
Very good. We have one not given. It is not given. Fine. So किसी का भी एक आंसर आपका आ नहीं रहा है. All right, not a problem. So let's go to the next one. So here we are. Watching violence is detrimental to the mental well-being of adolescents according to Dr. Bubika. अब यहाँ देखो पहले डॉक्टर बुबिका है यहाँ के नहीं है?
No, sir.
नहीं है डॉक्टर
No,
बुबिका.
sir.
No, sir.
डॉक्टर बुबिका आया कि नहीं आया यहाँ पे? डॉक्टर बुबिका.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. है ऊपर.
The answer. Watching online violence is detrimental to the well-being of adolescents according to Dr. Bubika. Yeah. Read it, read it.
Sir, it is true.
True, sir.
डॉक्टर डुबिका वायलेंस की बात कर रहे हैं.
Yes.
वायलेंस की बात कहाँ कर रहे हैं?
So last पे dangerous लिखा हुआ है online content.
Not given.
Not given.
Not given. Not given.
क्या डेंजरस का मतलब वायलेंस होता है?
Sir, mine. So yes, according to me.
Said it's true, and some people say it is not given. So I'm writing two answers here. Yes and not given. So मेरे सारे खत्म हो गए जी यहाँ पे. तो नेक्स्ट पैरा भी देख लेते हैं एक बार ही, हो सकता है कुछ और भी हो. यहाँ भी देख लीजिए. वायलेंस की बात तो नहीं कर रहा कहीं डॉक्टर डुबेका?
No, sir.
नहीं कर रहा. तो आंसर क्या होगा मेरा?
Not given.
होगा कि yes होगा?
Sir, not given.
Not given.
ओके. सो आप लोगों ने पहले मेरे को आंसर दिए हैं. You wrote no and you wrote yes. Second answer you wrote no and you wrote yes. Third answer you wrote yes and you wrote not given. Fourth answer, some people said yes, some people are saying no. So now I am going to Just mark it here that ये पहला दूसरा तीसरा questions थे. So my first, this is my second question, my third question, and this is my fourth question. अभी आपका फाइनल टेस्ट ले लेते हैं, देखते हैं क्या आंसर है आपके. मेरा पहला आंसर है नो, तो जिसने यस लिखा वो गलत हो गया. My second answer is again no, जिसने yes लिखा है वो गलत हो गया. My third answer is yes, जिसने not given लिखा है वो गलत है. And just my fourth answer is not given, जिसने yes लिखा है वो गलत है. Let us do the polling. हाँ जी.
So I have confusion like dangerous content violence में नहीं आता है.
जरूरी तो नहीं है. Drugs are also dangerous. Weapons are also dangerous. Running out of the house is also dangerous. It can be any dangerous. We really don't. Dangerous is we not specific about violence है कि नहीं है. Violence can be a part of the danger, but we don't know if it's actually dangerous or not. So let us do a small polling section here and find out the answers of what everybody got. So I'll stop the previous results and I'm going to show you the next passage. That is passage 4, and I'm launching the polling. This was difficult. I agree with you. It is difficult. So please answer your polling. मेरे ख्याल से तो 3 आने चाहिए average class के. Highest should be 3. Do your polling first. Okay, I've got ample of results of polling. So let me see what are the results. I'm sharing the results with you. Perfectly fine. What I anticipated, that is the answer. 14 people said it's 3 right. 6 लोगों के 4 ठीक हुए हैं and 4 लोगों के 2 ठीक हुए हैं, which is absolutely wonderful. And this whole recording will be shown in the blog also. It will be on my YouTube channel also. You can rewind it, see it forward. हर जगह जाके देख सकते हो, but I suggest you watch it again. This is a very, very beautiful and a very difficult class. If the examples are not simple, ये class होती नहीं खत्म. एक-एक करके design ये बहुत ही अच्छी class है. I'll be